Hi, I'm Gallery Guichard here in Bronzeville, and we're about to drop into the studio of Burts in Washington, D.C. to get a little more insight to the inspiration behind this amazing collection, To Be.
And I'm Frances Guichard. I cannot wait to talk to Al about this new work. It is impeccable. I mean, when you look at it, you're going to see so many amazing things like jewelry or the violin strings or the headdress. And I really want to know why he created this body of work and what the title To Be means, because I'm sure it's going to intrigue each and every one of you after we listen to his conversation.
So come on board, join us, and let's go for a ride.
Hello, this is Gallery Guichard, artist, curator, co-owner of Gallery Guichard.
I'm Frances Guichard, artist, collector, curator, and co-owner of Gallery Guichard. Hey, Al.
And we have a special moment in this journey of the To Be exhibition. And Al Burts is actually en route from Washington, D.C. area to Chicago for his amazing exhibition. And he's decided to take some time with his family and come cross country to be here with us in Chicago for his Artist Talk and opening tomorrow, Friday, at Gallery Guichard. So without further ado, let's give a big, warm Chicago love for Al Burts.
Al Burts, woo-hoo.
Thank you. Chicago always showed me love.
That's right. That's right. It's the second home, and believe me, people are anxious and excited about you coming to Chicago, which I think is, part of the excitement, the celebrity that has been created for years of selling in this market, building a solid foundation of collectors. And I just want to start off with kudos for that.
Yes, and the work is amazing. It just continues to get better and better and better every show you do.
So
Thank you.
I'm going to see if we could just open it up with some questions.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just start off with Al. You have a knack for finding Black swagger in the work that you're creating. And this whole show, people come in and they relate to it and can find something that speaks to them. How are you able to capture that? You're from one part of the country, but everyone is related to the work that you do.
Right. And that goes back to the name of the exhibition, To Be. I mean, it's just human nature. Everyone wants to be connected to something or be involved with something or be included with something or some organization. So to get everyone to be connected with my work, first of all, the work is personal. Artwork is always personal. If anybody tell you anything different, they're lying. Because no matter what you're doing, commission or what have you, artwork is always personal, and it always comes across that way because it's in you. What's in you got to come across on that canvas, and you can't block it, you can't fake it, because whatever you're going through in life, it's going to come across on the canvas anyway.
Yes, I see that, and I see how these images are just giving me a feeling of relationships, of community, of nuclear family. I see this young boy with a crown on his head, and it just reminds me of all the young people in the community with hope and opportunity that we have to provide for them. So give me a little bit of information about some of the pieces that you've done.
That's one of my favorite pieces. Not my favorite, but one of my favorite pieces. That piece is called Ether Being that you're talking about. And ether being is something that everyone is born with. Ether is in everyone, is what created everybody. That being said, it means that without schooling, without anything else, a child is born with what it needs. So over time, that child's going to learn what it needs to learn. It's going to eat what it needs to eat. Actually, everything that the child don't like to eat when they're babies is actually what they're not supposed to eat anyway. God didn't mean for them to eat anyway. So fruit, you don't have to like coerce a child to eat fruit. You don't have to coerce a child to drink fruit juice, but it's always coerced to drink the animal milk, always coerced to eat meat, eat your vegetables or what have you. We always have to train them into what we want them to do here on earth. But God has already provided everything for them anyway. So in that particular piece, he has his glasses on his head, so therefore he can see his future, because his future is bright. He's reading a book called 48 Laws of Power, which is stuff that's not taught to us in school, but it's in you naturally. And we just have to remember that. Even without schooling, that child's gonna learn, and that child's gonna learn everything God wants us to learn. And just because of life treats you bad, or something happens in your life to where you can't complete school, you had to drop out, or you're an orphan, or what have you, God always have you. Life is not over. Even if you're a teenage pregnancy, you have a child, that's like 15, 16 years old. You got to live 70 more years. Your life is never over at that time.
That is wonderful, very profound. And I think the humanity of this show, all of your work, but this show in particular, it makes you feel like, and I'm speaking for myself, and I'm very privileged to have seen this work before the masses, but it makes you feel like you painted what people are thinking. You know how somebody can mind read, and you're like, I was just thinking that, and somebody will say it. Your artwork is the expression of what people are already thinking, and you're saying it through your work. So things like, I never dreamed of success, I worked for it. And it's a conversation that unfortunately and fortunately we are having right now about some of our young people because of the internet. You see that. They think things come overnight, but you and I have been in this game for God knows how long, and it doesn't come easy. So speak to that, how you're able to capture what most people are thinking about already, whether it's, work or voting, or, you're hitting it all right out the park.
Right, and well, both of your artists, both of you understand what I'm saying when I say, when you go in the studio, you're so free to create, and once you create, you don't know exactly why you're creating this or what it is you're saying. It's just your energy, your spirit got you creating this, and it's going to speak to you later about what it is actually you created here. So you're learning at the same time everyone else is looking at it. So you're learning what you just created is witnessing to you doing the creation, and is really teaching you afterwards. So I'm just free to create, man. It's just a mind spray of what's on my mind, what I've seen on the internet, what I've seen in the news, and it comes through that way. And I don't like write it down and try to make it a lesson that I'm trying to teach someone. It's just what's in my mind, and I learn later about what was in my mind. I learn more about myself after I create the body of work, and I understand what was going on in the world at that time. Actually, I can look at each piece, and different parts of the piece, I know exactly what I was doing during that part. I know what was on the radio, what was on the music, or what was on TV at that time when I was doing this particular part right here in this one piece.
Beautiful.
That's beautiful. So let's talk about the materials that you use. Let's talk about your mediums. And knowing that you do drawings with oil, pastel, pencil, and pen, and also the fabric art. Tell us about this particular show, because you've done this in the past, but in this particular show, why did you use some of the items you did in your pieces, like the bag or the sweater? Just give us some insight to your material use as well as your drawings.
The leather.
Yeah, well, compared to the previous show, the previous show was the pieces that I went and bought. As far as the fabric, I wanted this fabric to look this way, that fabric to look that way. But this particular show, everything was found. It was found objects. It was found fabric in secondhand stores. Or my family, my children, my wife start bringing me things and saying, look what I found, look what I found. And as soon as they present it to me, a picture start forming around that piece. You know, like the one behind you, that fabric, that purse, the picture started coming to life after I saw the found object. So, you know, it's not nothing, I'm not being a genius or anything deep or anything. It's just I allowed the spirit to work through it. You know, let it teach me and let it work with me. And those images start popping in your mind once you start seeing what God wants you to do.
That's beautiful.
I think God made you a genius, so.
Right. And
Thank you.
you know, I'm gonna close because I think everyone deserves and owes it to themselves to come and walk the show, take in each of the pieces individually and have the experience for themselves. But what would you say to young artists who are struggling to find a voice or a fingerprint for themselves, and they tend to see what is successful but don't realize at the same time they're becoming the Pepsi in the cola race? Coca-Cola was created. So how are you able to create this unique original fire that is attracting people and can sustain it? And that's a question for artists.
Yeah, well, I can go back to my relationship with God with that, because it helps with my art also. I let my daughter know the same thing because she's an up-and-coming artist. And what happened was, when I was trying to pray to God, you know, I've been praying all my life to God, just talking to him like we're talking. And I started buying books. I started praying on it. I started talking to people that's been saved longer than I. And I started doing all types of stuff, trying to figure out how to pray. I have to say Jehovah Jireh when I want to meet, when I want this, or when I want him to answer this prayer for that. I have to say. And one day I came up and I sat and I started praying to God, and I shut up and I just started letting him talk to me. And God actually told me, I love the way you talk to me. There's no specific way I want you to address me. I love the way you talk to me. And as an artist, you got to do the same thing, because I was trying to learn the color wheel, trying to learn how to do oil paints, how to do acrylic paints, and then I stopped and did the same thing there also. I said, you know what? I just loved what I do. And you know, if people catch on to it, they do. If they don't, they don't. But I have to be free and do what I do. And that, at that time, it was ballpoint pen drawings. Many people wasn't doing it, but that's what I was comfortable with. And I took that from when I was trying to learn how to pray to God. And I just let loose and did what I do and let everyone catch up with it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love the stories. I love your spirituality, your family. I just love all the things that you're working with, and that's why God has blessed you with what you're doing. So continue to do it. You know, you're awesome, Al.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, thank you so much.
Everyone who hears this has to know they too can not only visit the gallery during the exhibit, but you can, for infinity, drop in virtually and see this exhibit by clicking on virtual exhibition catalog number 42, which is entitled 2B, and touch the circles on the floor or allow you to move around and peruse this amazing exhibit, and touch the dot under each piece for the title medium price. But Al, is the access to you and recording this moment in time, and happy to know that this will one day live in the Metropolitan Museum of Art for history, for people to know and feel what it is to connect to your work in the way you have, and time will definitely acknowledge you for your great work.
That's right. And they can get his work at www.galleryguichard.com. Thank you so much, Al.
All right, Al, and don't let him fall asleep.
I'm not.
All right, now.
All right, safe
All
travel.
right.
See you tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Okay, see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Great job, guys. That was good. All right.
Just like I thought, every time we talk to Al Burts, you get a little more of the onion skin peeled back. And I just love how he explained how he used that oil in the wood so the oil fell into the wood grain and it almost looks like real skin.
Yeah, he really laid it out for us. And, you know, I think that once people start to hear these stories, they're going to be able to resonate with it and find a piece just for them, because each piece had a special meaning to it and had special connotations that helped you feel connected with the work.
So you too can participate in this amazing exhibit, and you can walk around virtually by dropping in to virtual exhibit catalog number 42 and touch the circles on the floor to move around. And to get more information about each painting, you can touch the matter tag for the title, medium, artist, size, and price.
And as you said, study long, study wrong. As you said again, 8 pieces have already sold, and we still have more, but the show hasn't even opened yet. If you do see any artwork you like, please go to galleryguichard.com.